Do you realize how common it is becoming for people to receive a bilingual education? According to Nancy Zelasco, between 60 and 70% of the world is bilingual, and this number will continue to increase. Bilingual education is one of the best ways for people to develop cross-cultural skills. This helps to remove the largest barrier posed in cross-cultural communication, which is the language barrier. English is even becoming increasingly common as a second language for many people. This is because English is the language of innovation and is considered necessary for success in both school and the workplace. What makes America so wonderful is diversity and the variety of culture, and there are many people here that are bilingual. One of the greatest things about being bilingual is that it allows people to communicate effectively with others at school or work, but allows them to keep in touch with their traditional values at home. This is the main reason that people receive a bilingual education, because they do not want to lose their heritage and always want to remember where they come from. There are also many parts of the world where English may not be necessary, but another language is, so people still receive a bilingual education. Perhaps one language is taught formally at school, and the other is taught by parents or family at home. I've had the experience of meeting a few different exchange students at Southern High School. We've had someone from Madrid, Italy, and have had three people actually move here from El Salvador. It was very important for them to learn or better their English so they could communicate here in Garrett County. The only foreign language class that we are offered here at Southern High School is Spanish, and most people that are required to take it don't retain much. That is why it was so important for them to be able to speak English in order for them to communicate with other students and with their teachers. The two exchange students had already acquired some knowledge of the English language, as this was probably required. However, the three boys from El Salvador came here with no knowledge of the English language, so our Spanish teacher actually worked with them to teach them how to communicate. They needed to develop certain cross-cultural skills, like from receiving a bilingual education, in order to better their experience here. It was a fascinating experience for me to witness these boys become bilingual and engage in cross-cultural communication here in this small town. This just goes to show you how common it is becoming for people to partake in such communication, and how important it is to learn about other cultures and develop the skills necessary to interact. Cross-cultural communication is a two-way street, so developing cross-cultural skills goes the same way. The textbook discusses many skills that both native and non-native speakers can develop in order to improve communication. One thing non-native speakers should do is ask questions. Asking questions is a great way to learn and better adjust to a new environment. Another skill for them to acquire is to keep a daily journal. The idea for this is to help them better remember and understand words, as well as learn more about the culture by recording daily activities. As for native speakers, the book recommends to explain things, not only what they are speaking of, but why they are speaking in that way. This will also help non-native speakers to understand the culture and language much more. The important thing to remember is that effective cross-cultural communication is achieved by working together, and when these skills are developed by both native and non-native speakers. I plan to engage in cross-cultural communication frequently throughout my lifetime. One of my favorite things to do is travel and visit new places and experience new cultures. It has always been a dream of mine to go on at least one study abroad trip while I'm in college. I would love to visit Europe and Australia most of all, but I would be open to almost anywhere. Cross-cultural communication is inevitable for any study abroad experience, so it is important for those participating to develop certain cross-cultural skills. A study conducted involving Clemson University's Study Abroad program discovered some skills most important for developing cross-cultural awareness. These skills included respectfulness, open-mindedness, and patience. If I do end up studying abroad in college, it would be important for me to be open-minded in order to adjust to another culture, and I would definitely need to have patience and be respectful when communicating with those of another culture. These skills, however, are not limited to those studying abroad, but can also be applied in the workplace. As I aspire to be a nurse, it will be important for me to develop skills like the ones previously discussed, because I could be treating patients of all cultures. One of my career goals is to become trilingual, learning to speak French and Spanish fluently in addition to English. The reason for this is because my dream is to join Doctors Without Borders, and they recommend that you know French. Spanish is one of the most common languages spoken worldwide, including in the U.S., so even as a nurse here, it would still be an added bonus for me to know how to communicate effectively with Hispanic patients. In your lifetime, it is very likely for you to engage in cross-cultural communication at least once, even if you live in a small town. I hope that after hearing this presentation, you will strive to develop some of the skills and behaviors like becoming bilingual and being open-minded, because of how important they are for effective cross-cultural communication.